What are the challenges applying an entrepreneurial approach in a large company?
It's interesting. I've had this conversation. Is it easier to transform an organization, an existing organization, than build a new one? Well, of course, it's easier to build a new one. It's white space. It's a clean piece of paper. It's always going to be easier. And so, why is it so much? Why is it harder? There's a lot of reasons why, right? Because sometimes your change. Some of it's about the innovator's dilemma, that you're cannibalizing, an existing product line or an existing business, right? Some of it is political. People have their fiefdoms. They have their kind of their organizations that they own, and they don't want to lose that, or they don't want to be made irrelevant. So there's the political aspect of it, and then there's also kind of just the risk and fear. So if it's a publicly traded company, then of course any sort of massive transformation has to then be talked about at the board level, and the street has to be has to then of course weigh in on it. So there's all these other facts like weighing down any sort of serious innovation or change. And so that's why you'll see a lot of companies have created separate innovation groups or incubator groups. It's very common practice so that you can keep the main business chugging while this new one's happening. But that's worked for a lot of companies very well. But for an organization that's literally in the middle of an industry going through a transformation, it's almost like you have to do. It's not as simple as just creating an innovation group or creating an incubator. Some of it's really about the leaders in the company having that vision again and being able to drive that and saying, you know what, we're going to take a shot at this. So, we believe this is the future and we need to make a change. And so it's really a top-down. The only way to do it is top-down, to be perfectly honest. Sometimes change is rough on some people. It's a violent, in some not physically violent, but just kind of violent in how disruptive it is. Right. And so in order to be able to do something at that level, you typically would need the top-down or the executive level buy-in, and not just buy-in, not just saying, yes, we should do this, but actually driving that all the way down so that everybody gets the message. Changing the DNA of a company is not easy to do, but it's definitely possible, and it really is about the leadership in the organization.